we all want to keep going in our lives and we want to keep growing. And that's so important to, have our audience understand that, we all grow and we all do things, but it's how we do it. And so to hear from other people, it might inspire us. Ageless Ambitions on luxemediastudios. I'm here with Max, who's just over here doing his thing, and I have my crew, Nick and Chris, and we're in Hollywood. This is like the place to be to do my show, so I'm just so excited because I have a special friend that is also a professional, and she's a professional at photography, and I just adore her. And our meeting was through the pandemic when there was a platform called Clubhouse, and we basically got to do a lot of rooms together, and we just meshed. It was just something that just chemistry was there for us, and she just really wanted to know more about my product Hito, and she's a true customer and a beautiful supporter of Hito. But for me, I can't wait for one day for her to shoot my products, because that's the main reason that we really started talking. And so this is my friend Hulse. It's so nice to see you. And I know I'm sorry. I know that I'm so lucky because you're going to leave me, but we can still Zoom, but you're going to be going back to Germany. So hi, Holly, how are you?
I am great, Christy. It's so great to see you. And thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I feel so honored. I truly do.
So, we've done a lot of rooms together, so we got to hear each other talk.
Yes.
Right. So it was just a lot of things going on in those rooms. But the main thing that happened for you and me is, you knew about my product and you really wanted to try it, and you have not stopped ever since. Look at her face, right?
I have not stopped from the first live that I saw you on, and I got my first sample of the facial cleanser. I have been hooked, and oh my God, it's been 2 years.
It's been a long time. I think it's almost been 3.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I stocked up just a little bit last month. So I have some things to hold me over in Germany for when we get settled, and I can go ahead and order what I need.
You're good. So, but enough of that. What I want to do is talk to you about you and your background, where you're from, what got you into photography, because my show is about, ambition and life and ageless, because we all want to keep going in our lives and we want to keep growing. And that's so important to, have our audience understand that, we all grow and we all do things, but it's how we do it. And so to hear from other people, it might inspire us. So give me your background. Where are you from?
Originally, I am a simple Jersey girl.
Jersey.
I grew up about 20 minutes from Manhattan.
You did? Did you go in town all the time?
See, when I grew up during that era, like the 80s and stuff, you didn't go into the city unless you had business or anything to do. It wasn't the best time.
Okay.
So I honestly didn't go in unless we had school trips or whatnot. Now I go to New York a couple times a year to shoot Fashion Week. So
I know we're going to talk about that.
It's completely different.
I'm so jealous because I totally wanted to go to New York Fashion Week, and that's what you do for a living. So I'm just wow,
fashion photographer. So I grew up in Jersey, as I call it, during the fun time in the 80s. Big hair and just everybody having the best time, and I was surrounded by such a close-knit, loving family, awesome. Big Italian family, and my grandfather is the reason why I do what I do.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I grew up and he always had cameras, and he'd show me his cameras. They all sat on this one wall in their house, and I was fascinated because he'd show me the camera and then the pictures after, and I was like, just as a kid, as I was hooked on it. So it's something I've been raised on.
Everybody thinks it's so easy. Like, just put your camera up. But there's so many different kinds of cameras and camera lenses. And how does that work? like, okay, so he had all these cameras. So you had to learn all about him. Is that how you really was?
He really, because we were little, we got to play with the Polaroid. And that was, to
Where it
me, the
popped
most,
out?
yep, it popped out and you had to sit there. And he said, don't shake it. He's like, if you shake it, it comes blurry. So I would sit there. It would take about 5 minutes and I would stare at it and just stare at it until the picture came up. And I really think, oh, my memory's not the best at times, but I think it was a picture of my feet was the first
Oh,
picture I ever took
okay.
because I didn't know what I was doing. But I grew to love it. Everything from, little disposable cameras to I was just recently told I graduated into the big girl world and I have my Nikons, my lenses, and studio lights now. So
Mm,
I teach myself every day something new that I can take with me because I'm self-taught.
wow.
Everything I've
Well,
done, I've
I
taught
think
myself.
that's I could say the same thing because I grew up with my watching my mom dance, at her studio,
Yeah,
and I wanted to be just like her. So, it is self-taught, but it's because of family, right? So it's really your grandfather that inspired you, and he obviously knew what he was doing if he had all those cameras. So it's
yeah,
more about family, and that's what's important too because we're losing some of that in our lives this time of our
yeah,
lives because family units and that are just so different now. And so if we can really bring that back and know that, our parents or our grandparents really do influence who we are and
exactly.
make that a big deal. Like, it's we need to tell those stories because that's how we are molded into who we are. And you can see who is a problem child or who has issues. They're probably not nurtured and they're not,
Yeah.
involved in some kind of family things that we do, like hobbies, or stuff like that. And so that
Oh
brings
yeah.
out, yeah.
I'm I looking back on it now, I'm extremely grateful for the way I was brought up and that there's no dream too small and they're free. My dad taught me, he's like, have as many dreams as you could as your life can handle as let's see, your notebooks can handle. I have so many of these where I write down absolutely everything because they're free. And who
Right.
knows which one I'll be turning through pages and I'm like, oh, I can make that happen now. I know how to do that. I have the right channels and it drives me now.
Mm-hmm.
It's
it,
besides spending time with my husband.
well, yeah, you got to do that sometime or you're in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. So, no, it's just little things like that because we all like the social media of the world. It just takes us away from who, are surrounding
Yeah.
us and their heads are in the phones. So if we just get back to understanding that family is so important and what we do around the
Yes.
table, maybe at dinner, it means more than you ever thought it would, right? And so that
Yes.
instillness of your grandfather has made you who you are today. I'm sure a lot of other people, but when in the
Mhm.
world of photography and how good you are at it, it was
Thank
inspired
you.
from him. And I love that. So you did, I mean, you do weddings, you do movement. I seen you do some dancers. I can't wait for you to shoot me dancing. I
Oh
know I can
yes.
still do it somehow, some way. I'm gonna
I've
still do it.
I've
I'm
seen
gonna
you. You
I,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna I'm gonna make that a goal. So when you get back, I'm still gonna be looking like the way I need to look to be in your photography shoot doing pictures of me still dancing, like movement and stuff like that, because I just can't wait. I need to do that. So that's a goal for me.
Yes.
So let's think
Um
about that.
let's take that goal and twist it a little bit and meet in
Okay.
Paris. Let's meet in Paris.
Oh, are you serious?
How fabulous would it be? I'm already right now planning a small shoot for a model,
Okay.
the one I've recently posted, Allison. Her family's doing a vacation between London and Lisbon and everywhere. And they've got a week in London. I'm like, it's
Let's
an
shoot.
hour flight for me. I'm like,
See,
let's
that's what's
shoot.
so great
So,
about or Europe and being where you're
yes,
at.
one
Oh my
hour.
gosh.
That's it.
Okay.
So I'm
I've been in
flying out to
Paris.
London.
Oh,
Okay, let's do
I mean,
Paris. I've
I
got
love Paris.
cafes.
And their theater that they have, it's a ballet theater. And
Yes.
the I found out this that the stage is tilted like this because then or down this way so that the audience can see the back. And they have a practice thing of that same thing because can you imagine doing turns and stuff like that on that? We're getting way off course, but I can't wait to I can't wait to you know, be in Paris and be in front of that place, that
Yes.
same place and shoot. So let's do that. Okay, cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. So did you go to college or did you just start freelancing or?
Believing Before Seeing, a new book by Candace Barr, teaching you how to believe into existence. Available now for pre-order.
No college. I did jobs here and there. I worked for a marketing firm in Fort Lauderdale for years, and then met my husband. So
okay, how did you
him
guys
being
meet?
in
I want to
STEM
know that because isn't he a
Oh,
pilot? Does he
he
fly?
is. He's an Apache pilot in the Army. He just passed 28 years of service, and he's still going. So I follow him, and we met by chance when I worked at Disney after I graduated high school in '96.
Wow. What were you
Everything
doing at
was
Disney?
chance meeting. I was a bartender.
Ooh, okay, got him a drink.
I did bartender and cocktail server. So
Okay.
it just happened our paths crossed one day and we kept in touch. And next month is 21 years married.
Wow. And what's it
So
like
we
having
we
him as a pilot? Is it cool? I
I
don't know.
still get butterflies watching him fly. I got to go out to an area and shoot some photos of him flying, and it's exhilarating still to this day. I saw his first flight, and when he retires I will be there to see his last flight, and it's an
Wow.
absolute honor.
Wow.
i
It is an
I love
honor.
it.
Anybody that
Yeah,
serves our country is like, whoa, thank you so much. Because, I did 8 USO tours all over the world.
I know, and I
And
love
so,
seeing the pictures that you post of it. It's just like it, those little things inspire me to do more. When I see what other powerful and successful and just beautiful women have done, it
mhm,
helps me. Because
mhm,
the one thing I'm priding myself on is, yes, I'm a fashion photographer, but beauty is in every facet of life, and every woman, no matter your age, where you're from, nothing, everything. Every woman is absolutely beautiful in her own right, and that's
mhm.
what I'm building to go ahead and capture.
Because you love to capture through your lens. That's
Yes,
your love. That's your
that
love.
is that is. I guess you can now say that that's my new love language. It used to be cooking for people and food, and now it's showing them what I see through my lens, the absolute
Mhm.
beauty, and most of them are unedited. And I
And
love watching the smiles on these women that are like, oh, I don't photograph well. I don't think I'm beautiful. I'm like, sit down. I'm like, you're stunning. And I'm about to show you. And seeing their reactions, yeah, I kind of get a little emotional, but it helps me grow as a person too.
I mean, you see the beauty in anything and everything, and
Yes.
you let that person understand who they are, and you
Yes.
capture them. Even though they don't think they have a beautiful aspect to themselves, which most people definitely do, you bring that
Yes,
out
they
in
do.
them. You know,
Yeah. I
and
am still,
confidence is the key. So you're behind when you're taking the pic when you're being that the subject or whatever, you have to have confidence or it's not going to come through. And it takes the
it's true.
photographer, to make that person feel so comfortable. Like I love when photographers talk to me, and they say, "Oh yeah, yeah, oh, and it just kind of makes you just loosen up even more and more, and stuff like that. So you take the most beautiful pictures. They're they're
Thank you.
they're more than pictures though. They're like a piece of art,
Oh,
and
thank you. Oh my gosh.
the way that you see it, and capture it. It's just, I love it because I'm a dancer and I see almost art through the eyes of movement, right? So I can see what
Yes.
they were doing before you took that picture, before it snapped. And I'm like,
Luna
she knows what
was
she's doing.
Yeah, Luna was so much fun. Her and her mom were taking a small vacation out to Holden Beach here about 2 hours from me. And they said they couldn't find any photographers that fit what they were looking for. And I was like, it's only 2 hours. I'm like, what if I come down for the day and we hang out? And I drove 2 hours out to Holden Beach and sat with Luna and her mom, Allie. And I was like, this is what I see. I'm like, let's go down to the beach. Let's have fun. We spent like 5 hours on the beach that day, and we just had the best time. And Luna does ballet. She does point.
Oh yeah.
So I was like,
We're going to probably get her on there while you're talking. We'll put her up so she can
oh
see
yeah.
it if
I
you
was
don't
like, no, go ahead. I was like, do me a
Yeah.
favor. I'm like, show me movement. I'm like, show me what you can do first. And I was like, okay. And we worked on some of the moves and poses. And I was like, just keep doing it. I was like, until I tell you to stop. And I would show her the photos, and her mom's like, oh my God, you captured it. And then I started putting them online, and I'm like, yeah, this is why I love what I do. I truly, like, with
But
every fiber of
who's
my being,
like
love.
this is like my show. This is Ageless Ambitions. This is like somebody that will drive 2 hours to convince somebody that you're
Yeah.
the right person because you have it in your heart. Most people are all about the dollar sign. Well,
No,
it costs this and this and that, and they don't even you got to feel. You got to
you
feel
do.
that. You got to feel it. And so to drive there and do that, that's something that I would do. That's what I'm doing now with, I did it with my kids in my studio, and I'm doing it now with skincare. I don't know these people, but whenever there's an issue or if there's something that they want to know, I'm on it the minute they bring it up. If I got an
That's what
email,
it's
it's
about.
done that right that minute. In fact, I was doing 2 of them right before you came on. So I just want to get back right away because I want them to know, that I don't want to leave
Yes.
anybody hanging. And that's what is so different when it comes to entrepreneurs, because you are one and you built your career, and I'm so proud of you. And
Thank you.
what are you going to do now when you get to Germany? Like, are you, I can't,
The
that's
list.
the list. You
The
got a bucket
list.
list. I know you do.
The list. Oh my gosh. It's because this is a second round for us. From 2016 to 2020, we lived at the same exact base. And because of my husband's hard work, we get to go back, and I'm not going to waste a minute. So, Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week,
You
Berlin
get to
does a
go all
Fashion
that.
Week. I am changing up the portfolio just a little bit,
Okay.
putting in some more beauty shots and whatnot. And
Like editorial. Does that mean editorial?
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little bit more editorial stuff in there, and then one simply just for runway shots. And I'm going to start submitting because they're opening the calls for photographers. And I'm like, I'm going to be in Paris no matter what. So here's to that. I've got a friend who's a model walking in Milan. So we've already got some girls' time mapped out. And the designer's like, hey, you want to pass the show? I'm like, yes, please. I was like, yes, please. So
what a blessing that you get to go back and you already know where you're going to be and how it
yes.
goes, so that you can then branch out and do so many different things. And that is just so cool. That is a goal and a bucket list,
Yeah.
and a good opportunity for the next few years to just do so many things, because who knows how long he's going to be. I mean, that's a lot of years in the military.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 3 years in Germany, and then if you cross your fingers, I might be moving closer to you in Scottsdale, Arizona after
Okay.
Germany.
Okay.
But Hito's coming with me every place I go, right? I am taking you all over Europe with me to northern Finland. We're planning Morocco. So we are just going to be all over the place, and it's going to be right there with me. And it's probably going to show up on my Instagram.
Aw. Well, I am so grateful for you. If there's anything else you would like to express to the audience so that they can be inspired by the art of photography, or just, things that you get to do to travel, I would like everybody to know. And then I'm just thanking you for being here for me. So let me know.
Number one, you are beyond beautiful, inside and out. The support and love you have shown me has just been more than I can ever imagine. So I cannot thank you enough, Chrissy, for everything.
Thank you.
I absolutely truly
that.
love you. But just pick up a camera and shoot what you want, what makes you happy. Don't never try to fit a mold. Never keep yourself in a box. Break the glass ceiling. Get outside the box and do what makes you happy. Being a female fashion photographer in some circles is almost unheard of, I was told. And wait until they
break
meet
that
me.
mold. Break that mold.
It's being broken. It's being changed, and I want models to understand too. They have a voice in who they work with on certain things, and to feel comfortable and to
Mhm.
trust their instincts.
Mhm.
Above
Wow.
all, be true to themselves. That's it.
Just be true to yourself.
Yes.
Self-love, self-care brings
Yes.
out best in other people. So when you're taking care of yourself, you can bring that out for other people. Because if you're not doing that, it's hard to do it for others, right?
Exactly. It's all intertwined. No matter how you look at it, it all comes back in a beautiful circle.
You're beautiful. Thank you, Holly, for being here.
Thank you. It's been an
Everybody,
honor.
you're so welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. I am so grateful that you're here, and thank you to my crew and you guys. Holly, thank you so much for being here. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.